Joining us now from Vienna is Peter McGuire, the CEO of XMCom. Peter, thank you so much for joining in. What have you made so far? Is a deal likely to happen despite Iran's ability to veto?
Well, I think there's so many moving parts. That's the real issue with this particular meeting. We've got the Saudis and Russia in a JV partnership. We've got the market accepting that you could see 500 to 1 million barrels or more. And then you've got strategic reserves in the US, petrostates, Venezuela and Iran. So there are so many different issues at hand, and it's going to be a very fascinating day in Vienna.
Peter, so, those numbers that you were talking about, what is the best case, worst case scenario that markets and, watchers like you are talking about? 500,000 barrels would be okay for the market to go on as they have been? Would it be low on the lower end?
I feel as though that you'll probably hit a higher number than that. I just think that there's a very, very strong strategic push from the likes of Russia, UAE, Kuwait, and of course, Saudis. So we're probably looking for a higher number. They want to increase their number. And we also need to take on board the incremental gains over the last 12 months with the US shale and what impact that's having as far as supply globally. So I think a higher number, I think a weakening of crude prices, and everything that Iran and Venezuela don't want.
Peter, so what will all of this mean for prices at the end of the day? I mean, that's the key number that's relevant for all of us. If a deal happens, where do prices go? If Iran manages to sort of prevail over the rest of OPEC, where do prices go?
Well, the first case scenario is we do see an increase in production and they really knock the ball out of the park. I think there's going to be a softness across WTI and Brent. I wouldn't be surprised to see it fall in a matter of, $3 to $5 for both benchmarks. You may see even further falls. I think it'll be whipsawing like is traditional, so very volatile trading over those matter of hours. And then it'll probably settle down by Monday or Tuesday next week. If the other scenario comes to play, which is Iran has the upper hand in Venezuela, and they don't increase, and naturally you see a higher price, then we could well see, an increase of, 6 or 7% to the upside very, very quickly. So pricing is very, very elastic, as we know.
So, Peter, so the upside risk is perhaps more extreme. My point simply is that if you get something around, if you get 1 million barrels, for instance, is the downside going to be as pronounced as the upside would be if you got something less than 500,000 barrels?
I think so. Yes, I do. I feel as though that just the market will whipsaw and it'll be very volatile. No doubting that there are many traders out there that are sitting on their hands and they're saying, well, where do we go? Hedge funds. It's a minute by minute proposition. So if they don't hit the number as far as the increase in production, then in turn, I think that's going to have a direct impact significantly on price. I think that'll be a greater turn of price than the other scenario.
Peter McGuire, pleasure talking to you as always. Thank you so much for joining us.